Watch out, ladies, he's coming for your fortune. Okay. Hello. Introduction is here. I am Lee Loom, and today, dun, 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 based on the clip thumbnail, you know, dun, 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 based on the thumbnail, you know, we are doing Preminger. Let me write his name in his iconic purple. Preminger. Look at that stud. That stud of a man. Ooh, ow, ow, ay, ooh. Leela, you're weird. You're weird. Preminger, the stud of a man that he is. Hi, this is Editing Leela, and in these clips, what you see is the after effects of a huge emotional spiral. And it took me like an hour just to film the intro of this video when I did film it. It's now been a week since then, and this video is out late because I was trying a new medication. It was not working with my body, but I was not okay. To preface, I think I put my best face on and I really did try, but I was not okay. And I'm okay now. I'm definitely okay, but it's just kind of funny because I cut out such a long tangent because I was like, nobody wants to hear this, Leela. Nobody wants to hear this. But then there's like funny little bits and I'm like, this is hilarious. I wish that this would be part of the video, but then there's no context for it. So most of them are just going to be at the end of the video, but some of them are, there's just going to be little hints for them throughout this video, and there's just no way of acknowledging it and actually giving you that information other than this little clip from Editing Leela. So, hope this helps. I am a walking mood swing, if you couldn't tell already from the beginning of this video. I'm a walking mood swing because it is messing with my hormones. And this is pretty normal with every new medication that I try. It usually sends me into the spiral, the pit of despair. Okay, it's time to crack on. Preminger, the stud that he is, the little stud muffin. The first thing that I did for this, well, no. I bought a pattern for this, and it's a very cool pattern. Pattern. Cool little pattern. Just got it off of Amazon. It's like a real historical pattern. This one is called Sir Peter Teasel. Is he teasing you? That's his purpose. He's supposed to be teasing you. Anyways, I like it. I thought it was very cool. I actually lied. I hated it. But the pattern is nice. It was a very good pattern. They did a great job, and it was very lovely, very sturdy, very sturdy and strong are synonyms, and they mean the same thing, Leela. Okay, first thing I did was I cut out the pattern. And I cut out the patterns for the cuffs, the necktie, the coat, and the vest. I accidentally cut out a few extra things that I didn't necessarily need. I cut out the pockets for both the coat and for the vest, and I ultimately decided that I didn't want pockets on either of them, so those just became scrap fabric. The cutting out of the fabric was actually really, really easy, and I enjoyed the cutting out process of it. Cotton polyester broadcloth for the vest, and polyester gabardine For the coat, how does that get pronounced? A durable, tightly woven twill fabric traditionally made from worsted wool, but also available in cotton, polyester, and blends. Known for its distinctive diagonal texture and wrinkle resistant. It is actually very wrinkle resistant. I did notice that. I was kind of peeved that it frayed a lot. It frays a lot. But aside from that, it seems like a really nice fabric. It definitely is wrinkle resistant. And it's pretty nice. It's like pretty comfortable. I wouldn't sleep in it. Would I? Gabardine. That's how it says it's pronounced. Marmalade loves to follow me around just all the time in general, but it's especially cute during these sewing projects because she jumps on the fabric and just gets herself all surrounded by it and moves it around and just like kind of wraps herself in it like a blanket sometimes, but other times she just gets her toys on top of it and just plays on top of the fabric. And at one point she did it with the patterns and I had to keep on pushing her off of the patterns and only allowed her to sit on the scraps, and she was a little irritated by that personally, but she was able to get over it soon enough and just continued to play right next to me as I was working on this project. It was super cute. After I cut out all of the pieces that I wanted, I then sewed the coat together. I need my emotional support stuffed animal. Because it frayed a lot, I used like a little zigzag stitch on the end of it. That way it would hold the woven polyester together and stop the fraying. I sewed on the main seams of the coat first, and then when I was able to get those in, I just flatted out the pleats and then sewed the back stitches on it. After I got the back stitches done, I was able to work on the collar area as well as the part that goes down the jacket in the front, and I just went ahead and pinned it all. I measured it out, that way it was all 4 inches the entire way down, and just also made sure that it was gonna come out with pretty stitches because, you know, gotta have those pretty stitches. And I tried it on at this point and I was already loving it and very happy with how it was turning out. I think that this is gonna be a great project and it just made me really excited. I had to get the dances out. And I just followed the pattern with the collar. I realized after the fact that I did it in the wrong color. Preminger has it as the maroon color, but I did it in the purple, and honestly, I am unsure on whether or not I'm gonna fix it. Ooh, and for the collar, I hand stitched a hidden seam on it. So I stitched the exterior part of the collar to the exterior part of the coat, and then when I folded it in, I wanted it to be hidden. I didn't want any seams to go through the coat, so I did a little hidden stitch, and I'm actually very proud of it. I think it turned out really good, and you really wouldn't know that it's there. And at this point, I just sewed the sleeve sides together, and it was a relatively easy thing to do. Nothing crazy about it. I just continued with my stitchings that I had done previously, the zigzag stitch along the outside, that way it kind of seals the woven threads together, and that way there's minimal fraying. And then I did a pretty stitch for the part that is actually going to be showing on the outside, or at least holding it more together. I just did a pretty straight stitch all the way down to keep with what I had been doing the whole time. The sleeves weren't very hard to get done. I was just able to flip them inside out and just pinned them together. I tried it on just to make sure that the sleeve would fit, and it did. I wasn't especially worried, but I figured, you know, should try it on. That way it doesn't seem like I'm cocky about all my sewing projects. There was so much material that was everywhere just because of all of the fraying that I was taking care of to eliminate. This is Marmalade saying hello, as she always does when I'm sitting here, especially during the daytime. She loves to bask in the sunlight that comes through the windows. And then I started adding the cuffs on the coat with the proper maroon color. Now the seams that I did on these were not necessarily pretty. It was very easy to get the thing all set up by itself, but when it really came to attaching the cuff to the coat, it was just a bit hard to get the seams to be super pretty, so I just ended up folding them into the sleeve. And if you're not looking for it, you'll never notice. It's perfect costume quality, I would say. At this point, I had realized I probably should have used black thread instead of white, so after this video I did in fact purchase black thread, so please don't get mad at me. It is going to not happen in the future. But the contrast is also still very pretty. And I just sewed in the little darts that are in the back of the coat to make it flare out a little bit. And I just did a plain black stitch across these. I used the black thread to just do a stitch along the outside of the coat and for the hemming as well. Just plain stitch, nothing fancy about it. Day one was a very productive day. I was able to get a lot of things done. I think the sewing of the coat probably took the longest because there was just so many pieces that were going into it and going together, and then I had to do multiple seams for each piece of fabric. That way the fraying would stop and not destroy the coat in the future. But I'm really glad that I took the time to do that because it really did make it a more high quality piece, and that's what I want to make. I want to make high quality pieces, so I'm very proud of how the coat is turning out, and I am also wanting to expand my sewing techniques, so I'm very glad that I also took the time to learn how to do the little zigzag stitch because I want to incorporate some more stitches in all of my sewing projects. I think that if you have a sewing machine that has many different stitches, you ought to learn how to use them, you know? Don't just like make the fancy tech go to waste. I'm feeling a bit better now. I don't need to hold on to my stuffed animal. Blanc, blanc, blanc. Day 2. Day 2. The first thing that I did is I cleaned the sewing machine because it was acting real silly goofy. I don't know what was happening. I don't remember, but I remember that it was driving me crazy, and I was like, you know what? No, it was making weird noises. That's what it was. It was making weird noises, and so I took the time to clean it. And I hadn't cleaned it since before these videos, meaning not going all the way back to Christine Daae. I do think I cleaned it before I started making those videos. So there was quite a bit of fluff that was stocked up in there, and threw it away. I put it in its place. I said, you're not allowed to be in my machine. Now get out. You are being, what is it? Evicted. You're being evicted and you're not allowed to live here anymore, so you have to go somewhere else. That would be a bit sad if Lint was like a little animal and we just treated it like it was trash. That would be a very sad life. I do feel like a lot of bugs live in that realm though, where people see them and they think they're trash. Day 2, I also finished the coat. Yay! Woohoo! I did all of the trimming and hemming and yeah, finished it completely. And that only took me 2 days, which this is the most, busy? This is the most productive? I don't know. Okay, so, so many words. This is the most productive video that I have made thus far because I did 3 things in this video, and that I did it within the span of 2 to 3 days, which was crazy. I was working from morning to night on those days, and I was really just trying to get it all jumbled in. I originally, for this project, was going to have one piece per week, and it was going to make it all the way till Halloween, but then things came up and decided to mush it all together. And it's been a good challenge for me, and I am able to see what I am capable of. I didn't like how big the vest was. I pinned it on my mannequin. I was like, oh, let's put darts in it and let's actually make it more slimmer, because it would be really funny if Preminger was snatched. So that's what I did. But I sewed it all together and it was beautiful, and I, for some reason, didn't think that I needed to put it on my own body. My body is different than the mannequin's body. The mannequin's body is measured to be the size of my body, but the mannequin is still lacking human features. This is a lesson that I just needed to learn, and it's a bit funny that it is a lesson I had to learn, but I got scissor happy and I cut so much of it off. I was like, oh, let's make it snatched. This will be perfect. And then it didn't fit on my body. So I decided I wasn't gonna fix it, but alas, on day 3, I do fix it. But before that happens, day 2 is when I made the cuffs and the necktie. I feel like there's not much that needs to be said about the cuffs and the necktie. I followed the pattern. That's it. For the necktie though, it didn't have a pattern for the tie part of it, and it just had a pattern for the neck part of it. And so I did make little, like, not tassels, but little ribbon pieces to make them like Preminger's, but I cut them too small and they didn't turn out good, and that is something that I also attempt to fix. It is side quest time. So I am a smelly girl. Hate to admit it, but it's totally normal. But I got this new deodorant and it burned me. It gave me burns. And so I'm burning it back. If we burn, you burn with us. That's what it looks like. Okay, this is the beautiful coat. It's not ironed yet. I'm going to iron it, but this is it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The sleeves. I'm coming for your fortune. I'm gonna shake my little booty and you're gonna fall in love with me, madame. Next week! Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I'm sorry it was a mess, and just one of those things. I hope you liked it. I hope it was actually good. And in the next one, next week, I'm not going to work on this one. I'm going to work on the project, but I'm not going to have it be the video next week. Next week is going to be a surprise. But then after that, I'll be working on it. And I hope that it is good. I'll be working on the cuffs. I'll add the buttons to the cuffs. I'll finish the necktie. And I'll do the pants. And that's what I'll do. Oh, and I'll finish the vest. And it should be pretty easy. I'm not worried about it. But this one, it drove me crazy because it turns out I like the craziness of making my own patterns and, you know, coming up with stuff off the top of my head. I was losing my mind this whole project because it was direct points the whole time. Like, it was a step for each thing, and I was following the patterns, and I just had to copy, paste, repeat, and it drove me crazy. So I think that it is pretty evident at this point that I enjoy the chaos of my sewing projects. I think in the past they have been pretty chaotic, but not super duper chaotic. But now I know that the chaos is what I like, so I will be insinuating it more. Anyways, I'm not gonna Google that word to know if it's the right word in this term. I hope that you have a good, lovely day, and a good week, and a good weekend, and a good life, and a good nighttime, and a good sleep, and good dreams, and whatever, and that I hunt your nightmares. And that's all I have to say. Bye! Nope. Suddenly,
I just barely reached past the introduction, and I already am annoyed with myself.
I'm being such a big brave girl. What am I saying? You can't even see me. You can't even see me. Why are you not looking at me? Shake your booty. Shake your booty. I'm so tired. There once was a lad who wanted to rule the land, and his name was Preminger. He wanted the princess, but she turned him down. So he, like any normal man, went for her mother. 'Cause that's what you do when you want to rule the kingdom. You get your lads to kidnap the princess, and then you marry the queen, and you rule as king. That's all I got. Okay, bye.